Good evening, everybody. Everyone had gone quiet, so I thought I'd better stand up and start speaking. My name's Chris, and I've kind of coordinated tonight's evening. You may not know what to expect. So I'll try and explain what's going to happen. We've got one of the worship groups from our church here. So we're going to have a couple of songs. Then we're going to interview three people. It's very easy to find people who've been through difficult circumstances. In fact, all of us at some time have been through some kind of difficult circumstances. It's quite difficult to find people who are prepared to talk about it. But I managed to get three people who are prepared to talk about it, and they're coming on after the first couple of songs. It's great to see some familiar faces, some people I don't know as well. How many people went to this school? Welcome back. There's three purposes of tonight. One purpose is for those who have been through bad times. It's an opportunity if you want to support them, even prayer at the end if you want to. Secondly, we're raising money for the Sam Thorpe Trust Fund and for Child Bereavement UK. Now, Child Bereavement UK, they need some money because I was broken their banner, I'm afraid. And the third reason for tonight is to try and, for those of you who aren't Christians, is to try and encourage people to maybe explore the Christian faith. And I organise Alpha, that's one of my jobs at church. Grand, so we'll pass over to the worship group. Thank you very much. It's great, thank you for coming, everybody. Is there anybody here from Ullswater School itself? Well, I'd like to... the reason I ask, I would like to thank the headmaster, Nick, for letting us hire the hall really cheaply. Thank you for that. Thank you for having us. Thank you for the worship group for coming. Thank you all for coming as well. Anybody here from Ireland? Somebody told me this score. Right, I'd like to introduce my friend Ewan. He goes to the Penrith Methodist Church as well. It's not a second choice, but I was going to. He was going to be Paul Rose, who's the current chat school chaplain, but Paul's away on the conference. He said, "Try you," and he's got a good BBC voice.
I actually thought I was third choice, but so second's better.
Even though he comes from the world, he's a good lad. Thank you. And he's involved in education. That's all I know. I don't understand what he does.
I'm dismal one, so okay, we're going to conduct some interviews now with some wonderful people who have volunteered to share their experiences of tragedies and hurtful experiences. So that's great. So please obviously give them your full support. We're all going to be sat up here in due course. So yes, so we're getting in the way. So Anne, if I could welcome you up first of all, as our first esteemed guest. If you'd like to take a seat just there. Can I just check? We've got flowers on the table. Can you all see? Yeah, fine, okay. So how we're going to play this is that I'll interview each of my guests in turn, and then when they've had their say and had their turn, they're going to move around and sit next to me here. So the hot seat, that is the hot seat next to Chris. Okay, Anne, are you okay?
Yes.
Okay. So could you just, first of all, just to get us into this, tell us a bit about yourself.
My name is Anne MacDonald. I worship at Penrith Methodist Church. I've lived in Penrith all my life. I said earlier that I went to this school. That's not strictly true. I went to Tynefield, which in those days was across the road. I've got two children, I should say young men now, and I've just recently become a gran.
That's really lovely, thank you.
Okay, so can you now explain to us or share with us what tragedy has happened to you and when was this?
Do my best. So when I was 30, I was married, had 2 children, 2 boys. One was 2, the other was 4. And one Sunday morning, I said goodbye to my husband and went off to play golf. And I was going to church. And within an hour of his party, he was killed in a road traffic accident. The first I heard about it was when I was actually in church, and my mother and a dear friend came to tell me. As you can imagine, it was awful, really awful, and you kind of, what am I going to do? How am I going to cope? We've got these 2 little children, and how am I going to live? How am I going to live financially? All those thoughts going on in my head at the time.
Okay, thank you. So how would you say the situation affected you in the moment then?
Just complete devastation. I mean, you hardly know whether your legs are going to carry you or what to say, and everybody's so very kind, and yet that kindness itself is the worst possible thing at the time. So just total confusion and helplessness, really.
Okay, thank you. And how would you say the experience changed you?
Dramatically. I was brought up in Penrith, and at the time that the accident happened, we lived in Carlisle, but I kept going to the Methodist church whenever I was at my mother's and what have you. And, but I would say I was going through the motions. I don't think I really had faith as such then. I believed in God, of course, but I didn't have a personal faith. And it was quite dramatic, really. I was sort of, we'd gone home to my mother's, and there's various things, undertakers and police and all sorts of things going on. And I just remember I withdrew to one of the bedrooms. I just felt I needed to be on my own. And a fortnight before that had happened, we'd actually just come back from a holiday. So I was just looking through these lovely photographs of the wonderful time that we had on our holiday. And I just suddenly had a very real feeling that somebody was there with me. And the words that came to my mind was, I will never lose you. And I can say that God has never left me. And I've sometimes grown away from him, but he's always there whenever I go back. So that's a really dramatic thing. Yeah. And on a sort of big aside, interestingly, I was quite, people won't believe this, but I was quite a shy person. Told you. And my husband was very, my husband was very, very personable, I suppose you would say. And just strangely, I seemed to take on his personality, and it was what was needed. I needed to become something that I hadn't been before. And I honestly think that the Lord had a part in that as well.
And thank you very much for sharing with us. Thank you. Would you like to? Yes. So, could I invite Jennifer, please? So Jennifer, thank you very much for joining us up on stage. Similar questions really to put to you as well about your experiences of where's God going to hurt us. So can you tell us just first of all a bit about yourself, please?
Well, I was born in Blackpool and lived in Blackpool until 2004 when we came to live here, or just outside of Penrith. So that's where my background is. I had a sort of very Christian upbringing. I used to go to Sunday school, but I actually came to faith about, I would say, 1998, because things were quite difficult, and I thought there was more to life than I was having. And I actually joined the Salvation Army in Blackpool, and I think that was part of God's plan.
Okay, thank you. What tragedy then would you say happened to you, or did happen to you, and when was this, please?
Well, I had two children. I had a daughter who was born in 1965. Today, my son was born in 1969. So in 2002, I knock on the door. Two policemen at the door. My husband had gone out. Actually gone out to Salvador, right in the streets in Blackpool. I thought perhaps it'd been in an accident, but it wasn't that. They came to tell me that our son had died, and he'd jumped off the top of a multi-storey car.
So it's a tragedy. How did it affect you in the moment?
Well, actually, I would just describe it as the end of the world.
So, were you able to function then? Or?
Well, sort of in a daze, I would say. When somebody dies, there's a lot of things to do. As everybody here who's organising a funeral would know, but going to identify the body in the mortuary isn't easy. But I'll just tell you a little bit about the background. My son Jonathan, he was 33 when he died. He had had a lot of difficulties. He was very clever. He was top 10% in school. He got low levels and A-levels. Passed his driving test first time. He was very clever. Photographic memory. But he found it very difficult to get on with people. He really had difficulties in his body. But when he was 16, he was diagnosed with Asperger syndrome. And at that time, it was very rare. In fact, my doctor knew nothing about it, but said there was somebody in Liverpool who could probably diagnose him. So he went to Liverpool and he was diagnosed. And then they said, well, that's the diagnosis, but there's no treatment. So he struggled on. And he's made difficulties of mood swings and depression, but because he couldn't really find any suitable career. Although he did several jobs. And then he moved out. He got his own flat. And he did work at various places, and then he became unemployed again, and then he went back home. And on the day he died, he was living with us. He decided to go back to his flat, and I heard him go out early, 7 in the morning. I heard the door go, and I thought he was rushing back to get his flat ready. But he wasn't.
Thank you for sharing that. That's very, very emotional. But how did that experience change you?
Well, of course, I had got support because I wasn't going to Christian. And I thought it was God's plan. He prepared me to go through it. And I was surrounded by people who would help, but I needed help. The officers were not available, they were away. And I rang a friend who was a retired officer. In fact, the police rang her because I was on my own while they went to get my husband from town. And she wasn't in, and they left a message. But she came round within a couple of hours. She got home, got the message. I drove to where we live, just about 5 6 miles. And comforted me, prayed with me, which was really good. And just by pure coincidence, about 3 days ago, she phoned me. She said, I still think about you. You're still special. And she has dementia. She can't remember everything, but she can remember.
That's wonderful. And finally, in what way would you say your relationship with God has changed as a result of all of this?
Well, it's changed a lot. I mean, in the UK, we lived here 2 years after we came, and to get away from some memories. But we're now part of the Methodist Church, and I have a lot more confidence in all sorts of ways. And I'm very happy to witness that God's helped me through all these things, and to talk to people and say, well, he's helped God. And I actually got something I just wanted to read to you, because there are 1 or 2 songs that helped me, and this one in particular, you may not know it. So I'm going to read it to you, because sometimes just a piece of music can be wonderful. These are the words. Do you sometimes feel that no one truly knows you, and that no one understands or really cares? Through his people, God himself is close beside you, and through them he plans to answer all your prayers. Ours is not a distant God, remote and feeling, who is careless of our loneliness and pain. Through the ministry of men, he gives us healing. In their dedicated hands brings hope again. Someone cares. Someone cares. Someone knows your deepest need, your burden shares. Someone cares. Someone cares. God himself within the whisper of your prayers.
Thank you. That's it. Okay,
Thank you very much, Jen. I met Jen and Laurie's daughter tonight, Sandra, in the front row, and she said, she just pointed out that it's Jen's wedding anniversary tonight, so I'm sure Laurie can 50 years.
Okay, so for our final guest tonight, if I could invite you up to the stage. Let's take a hot seat. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
So you've, first of all, same question as for the others. Could you just tell us a bit about yourself, please?
I'm Eve. I was brought up in Penrith. I've got a husband and 2 little boys. I was brought up as a Christian. But I am not.
Okay, thank you. So what was the tragedy that affected you?
Well, a couple of years ago when I was pregnant with my first little boy, Benji, we found out that he had a fatal diagnosis, and that doctors didn't expect him to live outside the womb when he was born. And we were encouraged and told that the ordinary thing to do in that situation would be to end the pregnancy, but we decided to let him live out his life. He was born early and lived for 12 days and died with us in hospital.
Thank you for sharing that. And how did this situation affect you in the moment at that time?
I think with this kind of grief, it's less of one moment and more a series of moments, because you begin grieving when you find out that you're not going to live out your whole child's life. And once you've accepted that, there's the rest of the grief to deal with as well. So your child is born, and then you grieve for the newborn experience that you would have had, and then your child dies, and you're grieving for the child that they should have been. But because it's not an ordinary grief, because I guess you get so much time, and a pregnancy is always a joy, and having a baby is always a joy. So there's so much joy mixed in with the grief. And I don't know whether that makes it easier or harder, but you get a lot of time to enjoy your child's life before they're born as well. So it was very different.
No, I understand that. Thank you. So how would you say this experience has changed you then?
Well, as a person, I'd say having a child at all obviously affects your ability to love, but when you've packed so much love into such a small space of time, it completely changes the way that you see love and the way that you see people. And it definitely allows you to treat people with more love and see people with more love, because you see the worth, the inherent worth in people, rather than just for what they can do for you. And although losing a baby it's never an easy thing to go through, I've certainly found that I find it easier to be positive about other situations with that grief in your heart, because you always see a potential to remember your baby and to change the way you see things because of them.
Thank you. And then finally, and I think you alluded to this already, but in what way has your relationship with God changed as a result of this?
Well, I didn't have a relationship with God. I'd never explored one, I'd never wanted one. But when Benji died, I had so many questions about what happened, and I had so much gracefulness in my heart over it. I felt like I'd been given grace, and although I'd lost Benjamin, he'd still changed my life in a way that I couldn't have imagined. And I thought, how could this have happened to me? How could I have been given this gift? And why has it changed me in this way? You know, I would have expected to just be sad and just be lonely, but what had actually happened was, along with that sadness and that grief, I'd been given a new way of looking at life. And I just said to myself, this isn't of this earth, this isn't something that I've done to myself. My answer was God, and it didn't come all at once, but eventually I came to God, and I'm very glad I did, and I feel like that was part of His plan as well, to bring us together. And now I've got another wonderful son, and he's an answered prayer. So,
which is wonderful. And thank you for sharing that with us,
No problem.
and for all three of you sharing with us. Just very finally, I suppose, is there anything that anyone would like just to share, which you perhaps wanted to, but you in the moment to think about it, or
I think when you've been through something really difficult, it makes it easier for you to go and speak to other people who are struggling. Because before that, I would have found it really hard to speak to somebody and talk about their loss, because I wouldn't know what to say. And when you've been through something yourself, you're able to go alongside someone.
I'd just like to say that one tragedy isn't the end, because you carry on living and other things happen to you. And in my own case, I remarried almost 10 years ago, and sadly my husband died last year. So, you know, one tragedy is awful, but it does keep happening, but you can live through it. And, you know, I hope that I'm a testimony to that.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Yeah, thanks for being so brave, you three girls. Well done. Thank you. Now, it's my great pleasure to introduce Tim. I don't think we've got any of our other Methodist ministers here. So, Tim, I've been at PMC for youngs since 1982 when I started working with him. And Tim's the best minister we've ever had. That's what you told me to say, Tim. He's the only minister who's told me off. Do you remember that? He took me into his office. He had to tell me off. He's forgotten, thank goodness. we've got quite a lot in common, really. We might have some pictures if it all works. I put on Facebook that we last night we had a trip to Deepdale. Who knows where Deepdale is? What Deepdale is? Can we kill that back light or not? There's a big match, Preston versus Derby. I didn't realise that I'm just Tim's doing that, praying for a draw. And it was a draw. Anyway, here's the great man. There's Tom Finney in the background. There's a famous Tom Finney statue. There's Tim in front. He's twice the man he used to be. He has a lot of layers on. Next slide, just 2 or 3 slides. And that's Tim with his senior citizen. I'm not sure whether it's a senior citizen or not, but I got an achievement ticket. Senior citizen on one side, and Tim fell in love with Danny Hanson's wife, Miriam. She's a Derby supporter. So she had a young adult ticket and senior citizen. Anyway, moving on. Just to prove that Danny was there as well. It was a football match. Next slide, please. There we go. And we've also got a love of the mountains. And next slide is. This brings me to why I invited Tim to come tonight. This is Sky. Next slide is Sky as well. And back in 1997, Tim organised a trip onto Skye and onto the Coolin Ridge. In the next picture you may recognise, you may or may not recognise him. We planned to take an ambitious attempt to traverse the Coolin Ridge. Particularly well prepared. And memories of the weather wasn't great. I remember we bivvied on the first summer, I was then in Skye, and all I remember is I fell asleep at last, and the next thing I remember is Tim going, "Jeff, come on, get up, lads, we've got a long way to go, come on." So about a minute's sleep before Tim was on. Another slide. Somewhere in the background, this is down at Glen Brittle. And anyway, we were in the pub. We came time afterwards, we were in the pub, and Tim had a message, an urgent message to ring home. And the message was that Sam, his son, had died, suddenly died, and we all raced back. We all put the text down and came back overnight. And it was Tim that was comforting us, saying, "Are you all right, lads?" Because we were really tired and all very distressed. And it was Tim who was ministering to us even then. And the next picture, Sam, Jim and me and Rachel used to run a youth group called YPF. And Sam's the one on your left at the front there. And Jessica and me, Tim and Kay's daughters on the far right. And after Sam's death, it didn't have to shake up the youth group and everybody else. And the only song, we used to sing quite a lot, and the only song we could sing was actually the song that we just sung now, which was Faithful One, You're My Rock. So thanks for singing that. So without further ado, Tim, if you'd like to come onto the stage. Now take a seat in the audience. Taking his pink top off, that's really.
Right, it's good to be here, and there are so many people that have been a blessing to Kay and I here at Penrith. Can you believe it's 14 years since we left Penrith? Although we never did live Penrith in a way. He's a great guy, Chris, because, no matter what you think about this tonight, whether you're a Christian or not sure, Chris does this for one reason, it's because he loves people. That's why he does it. But it's really weird. It's really weird, Chris, because he's a vet, you know that, don't you? And vets are, he's raking it in as a vet, you know. And, but have you seen the state of his daughter's jeans, you know? And we're coming out the ground last night, and we're walking back to the car, and there's a Sainsbury's. And I thought that's really weird, because in the grounds of this Sainsbury's at Preston, there's a full-size plastic can. And I said to him, look at that, Chris. I said, there's work there, you can do an inspection. Before I finished the sentence, he whipped out his pocket a full-length plastic wall. My eyes watered, but we moved quickly on. But I guess, I've been asked to talk about where's God when it hurts. And let me say to you very quickly, I'm not talking to you tonight as a minister. I'm talking to you as a dad. Okay? And I've got no clever answers. I'm not here to have a theological debate with anybody. All I can tell you is my story and throw a few insights in. I don't ask you to believe it or not. I'm just telling you what I believe happened to me. Okay? I remember coming down the mountain from the Coolings, and we got this message. And I remember collapsing. Like somebody chopped my legs off and I was on the floor. Where's God in all this? Because Sam had never had a day of school in his life. He was fit as a fiddle. And I couldn't believe it. And I remember in those split seconds thinking, how am I going to get through this? What am I going to do? I'll never be a minister again. What's going to happen? And then God turns up. And the real frightening thing about it is he looked like Chris Swift. Because Chris came and prayed for me. And the truth is, I wanted to hit him. That's the truth. I wanted to hit him. Because I was angry. I was hurting. And I sat down on a rock. Where's God when it hurts? And I sat watching these guys, a mixture. I think there were 2 or 3 people from church, and the rest, I didn't really know the rest of them, really. And I'm sitting on this rock, trying to get my legs working. And I looked up, and every single guy packing away was crying. Every single guy. And I heard this voice. I'm not the sort of person who, God said to me, I'd love one of those telephones that some Christians have, where God said to me, but I heard a voice, and it just said, look, these people are hurting as well. But I'm not a hero. I'm not a person who, I'm here to do it. And it was so real, this voice. I looked around, and there was nothing behind me except the Coolings. These people are hurting as well. So I remember standing up and going around and helping people to fold the tent, put my arm around and said, come on, we're going to be okay. And, I'm crying, we're going to be okay. And I can't remember the minutes to on the bus coming back. It was the longest night's journey in my life. Where's God when it hurts? And then my daughter was on a school trip in France. And so we had to arrange for her to come to Manchester Airport. Kay and I, my wife there, God bless her, we drove down to Manchester Airport. And Christians sometimes use this word hell. Let me tell you what hell is. Hell is going to Manchester Airport to pick your daughter up, to tell her little brother's died. And everybody at Manchester Airport is either going on holiday or coming back from Spain. everyone's having a drink, and they've all got these big hats on and false moustaches and, you know, stuffed donkeys, and you're sitting there trying to hold them together. You know, where's God when it hurts? It's a funny thing, grief, isn't it? You know, I've been deeply touched by the stories, some that I knew, some that I didn't. And it's a very personal thing. Everybody in this room knows what grief is. You know, you can grieve over a broken relationship, the death of a loved one, losing your job, losing your health. And it's different for different people. And I loved it when Anne said about, you know, life can go on. You know, God, you know, why have you got this so wrong? Why have you got it so screwed up? You know, why do good people die young? I actually think God's got it right, you know, because a lady at Penrith Church, who was coming up to be 70, said to me, I wish I'd died rather than Sam, because I've had 70 years. And what I didn't say to her was, yeah, I wish you'd died instead. Because that's true, that's honest. But actually I thought, God's got it absolutely right. You know, the great thing about life is it's so uncertain. It's so uncertain. Wouldn't it be awful if we all knew the time and the moment? Oh, look, you know, Ruth's 27. You're the next one, Ruth. You're right, Ruth, you're not. Okay. What if grief is a gift? A challenge, an opportunity. What if every single one of us in this room made a decision tonight to live life, to make the most? Don't put off telling somebody you love them till tomorrow. Tell them tonight. You know, make the most of opportunities. What if we're called to live a life that's so rich, so full, so vibrant, that we live every day as if it's our last day, not in a desperation sense, because life is so much worth living. And that's what I've tried to do. I don't always succeed. That's what I've tried to do. I was in a chip shop once, and I was getting the chips, fish and chips. I thought I might push the boat down, I might even have a bush of peas, I don't know yet. And there's a guy next to me, and we're like leaning on the wall waiting. It was in Fife, I can see it now. And we chatted, and I said to him, oh, what do you do for a living? He said, I'm in insurance. I said, that's great. He said, what do you do? And I'm not very quick normally. I said, I'm in assurance. Assurance. And he sort of looked at me and scratched his head. And before we go much further, orders ready. Assurance. You know, the Bible's really honest, because it tells us right from page 1, right the way through, that life isn't forever here. You look at the book of Psalms, or Psalms. Should we see Psalms, shouldn't we? That's how it's spelled, Psalms. And it's full of stories about people losing, going through a difficult time. And then you've got that bloke called Job. Although posh people say Job. Job. You know, there's a wretched time. The amazing thing about Jesus is, he never ever says, follow me and everything will be okay. I mean, why would you want to follow somebody like that? long as you follow me, nothing bad will happen to you. What he says is, I will be with you always. I have to say that when Sam died, part of me died as well. Part of me died that day. But the important thing was, I knew that Jesus was with me. I just knew. And it's times like that, you know, it's times like that, us people who say, I've got faith, blah, 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 you know, Jesus is great. And it's times like that when the proverbial hits the fan. I don't know what the proverbial is, but something hits the fan. When you find out what you really believe, is it just words? What's real about it? And I have to say, I just knew that Jesus was with me. I just knew. You know, Chris Swift's a really weird guy because he likes climbing mountains. Well, so do I. And let me tell you, part of the reason that is because I like climbing mountains because I might just fall off. By that, what I mean is that, you know, I don't want to live a life where I'm wrapped in cotton wool. I don't want to live a life where everything's okay. Because I like to think I love my wife and my daughter and a husband, and by the way, the clock turned. It took about 15 years, but now I've got 2 fantastic grandchildren. Boys. But I know it's not forever. And actually, if it was forever and bad things didn't happen, and you know, what sort of life would that be? I think it's because there's that possibility of losing that I love more than I thought I ever would do. Loving, belonging, caring. And it's weird because one of the great claims of the Christian faith is that love is eternal. And one of the great claims of the Christian faith is that love is stronger than death. And I get that. Because I love Sam as much now as I've ever loved him. And I've not seen him for 20 odd years. And I'm also aware that he loves me as much as he's ever done. I don't mean in a weird, spooky sense, because if that was the truth, I'd never switch the bedroom light off when I went to bed, would I? You know, ooh. I'm just aware that love is so strong, and so unshakable, and so unbreakable. And the other great thing that the Christian faith says, that no other faith says, is that actually we shall be reunited. But it's a weird thing here because Jesus said, I'll be with you always. And the other thing he said was, I've come to heal the brokenhearted. Well, thanks very much, but I don't want my broken heart mended. Yet. Yet. And what's what sort of God would he be if he actually said, oh, you've lost your wonderful husband, or you've lost your son, there you go, it's better, it's okay. I know some people in Penrith thought that, Tim's done really well with this, and Kay's done really well with this. Well, I like to do the crying in private, thanks very much. It's a private thing. And 20 years later, I can be driving the car down the road, and a record will come on. I have to pull the car over. Couldn't just. And grief is a very strange thing. Because, in a way, grief is quite a selfish thing. Because actually, what you're really reflecting on what I've lost. And the other thing about grief, I think, did I tell you I failed me 11 plus? It gets better though. Did I tell you in the end, I also failed me 13 plus? So I'm not that bright, really. But one of the things I've learned about grief is that it's a thief. Grief is a thief. Because what it does, it makes you focus on all that you've lost. And makes you almost forget all that you've had. I love Anne MacDonald. And before that, I loved Anne Mason. Because she's a great cook, I tell you. But she's a great person. Which is more important. And I just loved it when she could talk about Gary tonight. And that was hard, Anne. How exuberant he was. He was exuberant. You see, Anne has learned a trick. She's never forgotten all that she's had. All that she's had. And I had 13 absolutely fantastic years with a boy called Sam. And I'm enjoying every day having a wonderful daughter and grandchildren. Because I treasure what I've got. I treasure what I've had. Because God never said everything's going to be alright, everything's forever. He said I'll be with you. Always. And so what I think about that is that no matter how much hits the fan, no matter how bad it gets, no matter how difficult it gets, all I need is to know He's with me. He's with me. Where's God when it hurts? Well, He's actually in more than Parish Church. That cheer up. Sam died in June. And it'll be about September, more than school having a harvest festival in the church. And they said, oh, Tim, can you come and give the address? I thought, I'll be all right. And I sort of get there and I sort of sit in the congregation waiting to be called up. And I thought it was all right. Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, a great aren't they? Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. He sang this song behind the painted smile. And it was the item of it, actually. Let's get it right. And I'm sort of sitting there like this. And a little boy who I'd never seen before, never met him before, he about 4, he sort of looks round and he brings his big truck and he comes up and he climbs on my knee with his big truck. And all the alarm bells start going up. Safeguarding. Don't sit on my knee. And his mum looks round and she looks at this strange guy with this plastic collar on, and I went, and she went. So I'm playing with this kid and he's showing me this truck and it's all going off at the front. And then it came to my turn, so I took him back to his mum. And I stood and looked at this sea of children. And inside it was like a deck of cards all collapsing. You know, where's God when it hurts? But a bit like I'm not feeling now, really. And the next thing you know, this little boy comes out to the front, and it's like a long walk. It's like the walk of shame, you know. He comes down, and I'm standing there like this, and he just grabs my hand. All right? Yeah. Where's God when it hurts? It's in the child holding the hand. In the child holding the hand. And it was all right. And then what happens is that I become a chaplain for the school here. It was great because it meant I could play with the staff five-a-side football team. And it was great. And so here I am in this school, coming in, and it was such a joy to me. Such a joy. But over the next 2 or 3 years, we lost 2 relatively young teachers to cancer. We lost 6 or 7 children. Can you believe that? 6 or 7 children. And what happens is, whenever something happens, they ring for the Minister of Death. Me. And I always wanted them to ring somebody else. Always. You know, where's God when it hurts? I'm coming to school. And I think I'll take the long way around. It might be closer and get there. But I only live a mile away, so whichever way I come, it's about 3 minutes. And I'm coming, and on the way I'm thinking, Lord, why am I going here? What am I going to say? What am I going to do? I just don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to say. And you walk in, and it's like a tidal wave at the school, and kids are walking around crying, teachers just... You go in the staff room, and everyone's broken. What can you do? And you walk in, and the teacher comes up to you and says, we're all right now, Thorpe. You're here. But the important thing is Jesus is there. One of the great... Do you remember John Wayne? I love John Wayne films. You know, they're rubbish, aren't they? But I just love it. You know. And the thing about John Wayne is he always solves a problem with John, Big John. You know, get off your hook now, not with it. And one of the great roles that John Wayne plays, he like leads the wagon train. He leads them through, gets them there. And one of the great descriptions of Jesus is the pioneer. The one who goes before us. And I just became aware that I haven't got to try too hard. Because Jesus has always gone before me. Always. And sometimes it's just putting your arm around somebody. Sometimes it's just having the word. Sometimes it's actually saying, what we're going to do, with this child's death, we're not going to let it rob us of our hope in life. We're not going to let their life be painted in a colour that says, all it added up to was a death. Because it wasn't that. And so, what I try to do with the permission of the parents is say, what we need to do is celebrate this life. Celebrate this life. And that's what we did. We tried to come to services and actually say, it's all right to grieve if you laugh. It's all right to grieve if you smile about somebody. And just winding the clock back a little bit, I might. I've got 11 minutes because you said 9 o'clock. Okay? And I've got to drive back to Glasgow, you know that, don't you? And it might be snowing on Beacon. So, I remember, learning about Sam's death, and on the Monday, one of the teachers had contacted me, and in absolute tears he came to see me. He threw his arms around each other and we would cry together. He says, can you come and tell his friends at school on Monday? I thought, this is a great gig, isn't it, this? This is great. And I thought, that's what Sam would want me to do. So I went into this classroom and sort of dead cool, I tried to be dead cool, and I sort of sat on the corner of the desk like, no collar. I thought, I'm cool. And I just shared that Sam had died. And I said, how are you going to remember him? I said, I'll tell you how you're going to remember him. You're going to make the most of every opportunity you give him. Every opportunity you give. Go for that extra run. Put that extra tackle in. Strive for things you don't think are possible. And that'll be the greatest tribute you can make to him. Where's God when it hurts? Well, the Jesus I understand from Scriptures, and I read it now and again, is the God who weeps with us. Is the God who feels our pain. I love that image of Jesus when he goes to see his mate Lazarus, who's not very well really. And he goes, and when he gets there, Lazarus has died. And he weeps. He weeps over the loss of a friend. If I'm going to blame God for Sam's death, and I don't, that's the problem. What we do is with God, we say, let's blame God for everything that goes wrong. Is it God's fault that somebody drove a car too fast? Is it God's fault that a guy in London stabs a 15-year-old boy? Is it God's fault that tonight a guy's going to beat his wife up? I knew a nurse once when I worked at Nottingham, and she came to me and she had a bit of a rough time, and one or two things had gone a bit pear-shaped. And I said to her, what I want you to do then, I said, I got some stickers. One was yellow and one was red. And I said, here's the red stickers. Every time something goes wrong tomorrow, put a sticker on the fridge. And I mean everything. You burn the toast, sticker. You know, if you put your foot in something you shouldn't, sticker. If you have a row with the boss, sticker. But if something goes right or brings joy, like the sunshine when you get out of bed, yellow sticker. And I'll see you next week. I thought that was a really good pastoral response, you know. 2 days later she came back to me and she said, I've got a problem. I said, you want some more stickers? She said, yeah. She said, I've used 7 red stickers and 150 yellow stickers. And we have this saying, don't we, in the church? And if you're not in the church, don't worry, because you soon will be, you understand. Count your blessings. So if I'm going to blame God for this and that, the only moral place I've got to go then is to actually thank Him for this, 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 and this. Yeah? The lady who spoke so wonderfully well has gone. And I wanted to thank her because she just, well, they've all been great, but she said something that really struck me. Can you put your hands up if you've heard this phrase? You'll be all right if you've got enough faith. Have you heard that phrase? What a load of rubbish. What a load of garbage. If you've got enough faith. So does that mean because, you know, my heart's still broken, it's because I've not got enough faith? Well, give me some more then. Got nothing to do with faith. The young woman who spoke this evening said, God gave me grace. God gave me grace. And if you don't know what that means, by the way, grace is God's shorthand for undeserved love. You know, I'm standing before God when it hurts and saying, I can't do this anymore. I've got nothing left. Yeah. Pouring grace in. Grace. And one of the things we believe is that you can't earn grace, all you can do is accept it. This grace. Where's God when it hurts? I'm with you always. In the everyday. In the nuts and bolts of life. And one of the problems we have is we think that actually I'm not going to trust God in the everyday things. And then suddenly when, you know, this disaster comes, this tragedy, it's too big a leap. It's too big. So what if we started to trust God in the little things? Help me today at work. Help me to be a bit more patient with the dog in the morning. Yeah, that rings a bell, doesn't it? Help me to be a bit more patient with the kids. And as we see God answering those prayers here and there, we can begin to trust Him for a bit more. You know, I don't think I'm anything special. I don't think I've got this amazing faith or belief. All I know is that God is with me. He's with me. He's never let me down. So what I'm going to do is, and what I've decided to do, is that I'm going to live. I'm going to try and encourage, I'm going to try and love, I'm going to try and be a blessing. And my wife will tell you I fail every day at that, but I keep trying. I keep trying. Because I've been overwhelmed by love. And there might be some people here today, and thinking, well, I'm not good enough to be a Christian. Join the club. It's all about him. It's all about him. I tell you, I knocked a cocker out of a football match when I was 17. That's got nothing to do with it, but I'm here. Mind you, we did beat Leicester 1-0 that day. So, what I'm saying to you is, why don't you try and trust me? And by the way, if you decide to go through your life without him, these bad things will still happen. And I'd rather go through it with him who's with me always than do it on my own. And all I can tell you is, he's never let me down. And I'm saying to anybody here tonight who wouldn't say they're a Christian, you might say it's all rubbish. And that's a valid point. It's a valid point if you've looked at the evidence. Chris will be talking to you in a few minutes about often. Why don't you just find out? Because if it's not true, well, make the most of it because this is all there is. But if it is true, wow. Wow. Last thought. The Bible says we are surrounded by this great cloud of witnesses. Now, who are these people? Well, it's people who simply believed. Just believe. And God said we will meet again. We will meet again. And I'm absolutely convinced with every ounce of my being, if I wasn't, I would have stopped being a minister on that day, that we will meet again. And all is well. And I don't share this story with you easily. I didn't know what I was going to say when I walked here. You probably you noticed. Okay. But all I know is what Jesus has done for me. And it's all about him. It's all about him. And I wonder if there's anybody here can give me one reason tonight why Jesus doesn't love them. You can't. You can't. There's nothing you've done in your life to cause Jesus not to love you. And we sing this song, Jesus Take Me As I Am. And I'm as rough as the proverbial badger's kneecap. Yeah? But Jesus takes me as I am. And that's all right. You will have hurt. You will have pain. But those very things might be the things that actually make life worth living. That make life richer and deeper and more precious because of the very fragile nature of life. But I just rejoice that there is one called Jesus who is stronger than all the world can throw at us. Last story. Okay. Honestly. Muhammad Ali was fighting Joe Frazier a long time ago, before some of you were born. And Joe Frazier was an animal. And he was battering Muhammad Ali. And what people didn't realise, Muhammad Ali was like this, and Frazier was absolutely giving it some. And what Muhammad Ali was doing was, is that all you've got? Is that really all you've got? And it drove him to distraction, and he punched himself out, and in the end, Muhammad Ali went, bing! And he knocked him out. The great thing about Jesus is he says to us about death and sorrow and sadness. Is that all you've got? Is that all you've got? Because I am the resurrection and the life. And I am with you and you and you and you always. Sounds like a good deal to me. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus, for holding me and others in the storms of life. May you know him holding you too, now and always. I'm not going to say amen, because that's what vicars and ministers say. So, cheers.
Thank you, Tim. I've never seen Tim nervous until just before tonight's evening. We assumed last night at the football last night we were really full of things. So we're not too worried. Worship band, we're going to sing one song now. Then Chris from Charity UK would like to say a few words about their charity, and Alan would like to say a few words about the Thorpe Trust. And then we'll finish with another song. Is that all right? And then we're going to have briefly a couple of people, and then another song, and then refreshments. There's refreshments at the back. When you go for your drinks, grab them and bring them back in if you'd like. That's a lovely, touching song. Thank you for that one. And thank you so much, Tim, for speaking. If you're wondering whether it's all true or not, it's either complete rubbish, isn't it, or it's all true to me. And a lot of years ago, I prayed a prayer saying, "God, if it is true, please show me if it's true or not." Not long after that, he did come into my life and changed me. And so it was fantastic. And if you were asking questions, do give Alpha a try. We start on Thursday night in the bridge, which is opposite Wordsworth Street. It's low key, no strings attached. We don't chase you up and follow you up. It's a chance to talk about Christian faith and try and figure out whether it's true or not. So that's my Alpha bit. Who'd like to come next? Chris, would you like to come and talk about child bereavement UK?
Well, I'm very, very pleased to be here this evening. Firstly, because of the sort of way back connection with Tim and Kay, particularly Kay, through our work in early years. So it's really good to be part of this very special evening with them here. And also as a representative of Child Bereavement UK. I am one of 4 bereavement support practitioners in the Cumbria team, and we have very recently relocated to a great place. We are now located in rooms at the bridge, just opposite PMC, which is absolutely fantastic, and that has been a vision that has actually come to reality. So we're now beavering away there. Child Bereavement UK is a national charity, and we have a number of bases throughout the UK. We are, well, there is certainly talk of extending into Ireland. We're already in Scotland. A new establishment is going to be set up in Middlesbrough. A lot of outreach work has been carried out in Manchester, and so the work continues. The demand for our work, certainly in Cumbria, which we know best of all, is just amazing. Apparently the request for support and help from the Cumbria team in November and December exceeded all the number of referrals we had in the last 3 years since the team was set up. So it is amazing, and I feel very privileged and humbled to be part of the team, and there's certainly work to be done. Loss is part of life, and I'd just like to say that very often it is having someone just alongside you in such terrible, discouraging, hard, challenging circumstances, who can be there for you. I've actually been in that situation myself, dealing with loss. So just having that person there who can be with you and can support and encourage is a massive thing. Support is a very important part of the recovery of a bereaved person. So it is really, really very key. What I would just say in advance is thank you for making CBUK part of your evening tonight, and thank you for being here and supporting this very, very special event. So, as I say, I have been very privileged to be here to represent Child Bereavement UK. There is further information in the leaflets on the table down here, and I'll be very pleased to talk and meet people afterwards. So thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Well, I'm part of the local team of the Sam Thorpe Trust, and just to tell you what it is, obviously when Sam died there was quite a lot of money collected in his memory, and Tim and Kay decided that they would set up a fund, and our strapline is helping ordinary young people to do extraordinary things. I think it would be fair to say that our average balance, monetary balance, is around £3,000, and yet we will have supported hundreds of children to do extraordinary things. Things like young people who've gone off to play sport abroad, gone off to do things within the school to help communities abroad, children going off to do things to do with drama and dance. And then also at the other end of the scale is primarily primary school children who are going on an experience, maybe visiting a city or whatever, and just helping them helping their parents to cover the cost of that. So it's a very worthwhile thing to do, but we are a very small charity, and we always welcome any donations, and also we always welcome any applications. You'll find us online. If you just put in Sam Thorpe Trust, our website will come up. So thank you for that.
Thank you very much. And thanks to Jordan as well, who's been pulling all the strings. Brilliant. Well, I think it'll be Tim didn't want to finish with an amen, but I think I want to finish with a prayer. So let's just pray together. Well, I think I would just sing that song about being led home. Help us, Lord, to know where we're being led. Help us to know we are coming home. Help us to know that we will make our loved ones there who we've lost. Jesus, thank you for dying on that cross, and showing your love for us, for each and every one of us. Lord, help us to trust in Him. Pray this prayer in your name, Jesus. Amen. Well, thank you very much. There's the refreshments. Go and grab your hand, have a tea, and